Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our workshop. I'm going to talk a little bit of our indigenous from where I come from, Ecuador, just a little bit. There is 1.1 million of indigenous people, indigenous in Ecuador, and there's still a lot of the suffering where they still have their old traditional ways. They live in some live in the Amazon, and some live in the city, but there's still a lot of struggles through the indigenous. And there's different languages that they have. I used to speak one, but being here for a long time, I've lost the language of indigenous, and it was called the Chiqua. Now I will read the Canadian. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga, the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with Mississauga of the Credit. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And this is so exciting to be a part of learning about Lloyd's life. And I'm looking forward to learn more. And when we met about a month ago, and we were trying to come up with the flyers, and Lloyd was talking with Mark, and I said he would start talking, and I said, oh, I don't want to hear it now, and I want to wait until the day that which is today. And I'm looking forward to hear everything what Lloyd, his life and stories, his journeys. Before we do that, and I'm gonna give it to Ines to talk about how do we come about doing a parent conference, a series. And I just wanna give Ines back. And Ines, maybe you could mention that why we are here, and how do we go about starting all of the workshops as well.
Okay, thank you. So all this workshop that comes through the Regent Park Safety Network, we got a grant from the CIF from United Way, and we been doing a lot of workshop. I'm just going to mention the ones that we've done before the pandemic and during the pandemic. We've done mental health, overdose prevention, anxiety in youth adults, know your legal rights, financial literacy, back to basics, grieving. And now today is accessibility for the visual impaired. And just to let you guys know, we're having another workshop in February 25th from 6 to 8 of Black History and the News. So I just want to say thank you to the CIF, United Way, Toronto Housing, the TD Center, Mothers of Peace for supporting and letting us allow to have all these workshops for the residents in the community. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Lloyd, how I met Lloyd. I met Lloyd through where I used to live at 295 Gerrard Street East, and Lloyd lived in 325 Gerrard. And that was what, maybe 17 years?
About 30.
More. I used to do barbecues outside behind the building. And Lloyd will always pass, and I'm always always making a food and say, would you like some and stuff? And we started talking I started talking with Lloyd, and our relation built more and more. And then I asked him, Lloyd, are you interested in sitting in committees and coming into the safety meetings and doing more, getting more involved through the committees? This is before the revitalization. And then he started helping me with tea parties in the buildings, and that's how our relationship became more as a friend. From then on, we've been inseparable. He's been helped me so much throughout the years, and even the acknowledgement of accessibilities in the street and everywhere that we've seen in his vision, how I see it is different than his. So I'm very grateful for Lloyd being my friend and coming into my life. And now I'll let Lloyd speak, and thank you everyone. And Lloyd, the floor is all yours.
Um, yeah, I moved into Regent Park in 1990, and I've lived in the same building for at least 28 years before I moved here to 21 Tubman. Um, I got involved as soon as I kind of moved into Regent. Actually, I got involved with the baseball team that used to be here with the House League, being an umpire for the House League baseball team. Um, Helped run that and umpired it. Got involved with Sunday in the Park that I set up the tables and that for almost 22 years. And I appreciate being asked to come and kind of talk about my life, about what it's like to be visually impaired as somebody that with accessibility, and how I came to get more involved with it as well. Hopefully, as we go on tonight, that you will learn some new things, and also uh, ask the questions and what you're curious about, and hopefully I have the answers for it.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. I just want to break it down and go and dissect all of the questionnaire that I have. And I will break it down so we could know deeply about your life as well. And I'm going to ask first, my first question is, what is the legal definition of being visually impaired?
Um,
Sometimes the language is so go ahead. Yeah.
the At the time, for as long as I known, that most of Canada, the language is 10% vision. Um, if you have less than 10% vision, you were legally blind. And at the time, in Quebec, uh, they just changed that because their vision was 15%, and you were legally blind. But now the law is right across Canada. It's 10% vision right across Canada. If you have less than 10, you're legally blind now. Um, um, the I mean, it's pretty. With my vision, you wouldn't even know that I am visually impaired, um, unless I've actually told you, or I was working with somebody. You wouldn't know that I have just barely less than 10% vision.
Wow, thank you. Tell me about your childhood experience being visually impaired in school, your social connection, family, gathering, access to resource, just throwing all of that out. Maybe
Okay.
if you could walk us through,
Okay.
that would
Sure.
be helpful.
Um, I'm originally from Newfoundland. Um, I grew up there. As a young guy, I've had lots of accidents. I've had lots of injuries. I've been run over 3 times by cars. The side of my head has got a half a moon on it.
Wow.
Um, at a young age, you don't know what how you became visually impaired, because I didn't even know what it was at the time. Um, I At the age of 8 years old, I left Newfoundland and went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, to a blind school that I lived there for 5 years. Um, Went to school there, competed in track and field, gymnastics, and competed in a lot of events, and even did a marathon one day, and didn't finish until almost midnight, but at least I did it. Um, it was a school with people with a lot of different disabilities. I was assigned for a year with a young guy uh, that had epilepsy, and had to work with him and to get him used to the school because we lived in the school. We had our 4 different areas, 2 for the guys and 2 for young ladies. It was we had our meals and that were there. So if we had anything, we did it inside the school, and we had to earn our way out of the school to go out on trips and things like that, or to go to the park, things like that. Um, at the age of 13, I came to Toronto, and I went to the regular school system. Um, really didn't really understand my eye problem. Um, I managed to took a French class. Uh, I had to sit in front of the class. I had to get close to the board to do my work. Um, I got teased a lot. Um, I got called names.
Sorry, Lloyd, to hear that.
And, I managed to get out of the one school and go to another vocational school. And in the office, they give me a large dictionary to work with that I had to carry around from class to class. I got pushed down a flight of stairs because I was visually impaired. Um, I really never really had friends. Um, I kind of kept to myself. Um, I also, around that time, I've lost a few dads around there. Um, that I grew up without one, and I think I played soccer in the early years, in the early 70s and 80s. I played regular soccer in a soccer league and went unbeaten for a long time. Um, in around 1974, I joined a blind hockey team for that I played with, and went to Helsinki, Finland for 2 weeks.
Go back, Lloyd, so a
Yep,
little bit.
sure.
I know that it's been difficult to talk about your experience. I'm sorry that you went through. As an adult, what is your experience in education systems?
Well,
If you need to take a minute and so, please do. I know it's hard, and post and current.
and I think it was like I left the school when I was 15 years old, um, and in 1981, um, I was out of school for about 10 years, and I lost my skill of reading and writing. I went to an organization called East End Literacy at the time that was over in Parliament Street Library. And I got involved there for about 6 years. Well, actually, it was a lot more because I got more involved with the literacy organization. I got tutors to help me learn to read and write. They helped me to get through independent learning to get my couple of credits. Then I was involved with helping learners to find a place to come in that couldn't read and write. So I would be talking to them. I got involved with the Ontario Coalition, another literacy organization, and these organizations that I'm telling you about, I sat on the board of directors for about 6 years each. Also got a job with the Ontario Literacy Coalition for 8 months, putting a newspaper together right across the country.
Wow.
I with other literacy organizations, we help write books. I met people in the government, helped launch different things, and did some training with them. Went away for a week, and this is a young guy that had a vision problem. This is a guy I didn't really understand what my vision was, and around there it was hard.
I'm
Even
sorry you have to go through this. I think this the interview or this moment that we are in, it will be taped and will be shared so people will understand more and they could do better. That's my hope of the outcome of this event as well. And I just want to go also,
Yep.
you mentioned that after you were in the class, were you being offered any opportunities in jobs? What is your experience in navigating the job?
I was in school. We had the vocational school that I went to. They trained us. We had workshops, carpentry, motor maintenance. They had horticulture. I got to do some work in there. The time that I had. One of the things I did do when I was in '75, when I left school, was I went to apply for a job and only lasted a week because I got sick. But over the years, I've applied for different jobs. I couldn't tell anybody that I was visually impaired. If I did, I wouldn't have gotten the job. I was a maintenance person, and
Yeah, that was my second question. The other questions that
okay.
was the stress and the relationship, access to discrimination that comes with people are very ignorant when it comes to taking time to understand you.
In these times though, the people didn't really didn't understand what a visually impaired person was, and that time I don't think. I mean, I've had somebody as an example. Somebody came up to me and just grabbed my arm to try to walk me across the street without even asking me. Uh, Luckily, I was a person that said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" Well, the person looked at me and go, "Well, I was going to help you across the street." Well, then you got to stop and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, but it's a way of, I don't know who you are." If you would have came up and said, "Do you need help to walk across the street?" and where I could have told you to just to grab my elbow and help me across the street. People don't do that. They come up and they want to just grab your arm or to grab you and just take you across. That's not a right thing to do because you don't know them. and if they have a cane or something with it, they'll swing it at you. So
Yeah.
you don't want to get hurt, and you want to be polite about it, because these things happen.
Yeah, this must be stressful for you, I know. In by people assumption, and that gives you stressful environment, that because they assume that on without asking you, they just it's hard. I like, thank you for sharing all of that. This is hard for you, I could tell, and by you sharing,
But
hopefully we will let other people.
and if I can just say this, is that if we don't do workshops like this, or talk to somebody like myself, you won't learn how to um, help somebody with a disability. There's lots of different types of disabilities and visually impaired. Some are total, some like me have got less than 10, got vision but can't
Yeah,
do the reading of materials.
yeah, that was my
Um,
question.
and then there's some are totally blind.
Yeah, that was my that is my next question. What is the statistics?
Oh,
Yeah, visually
well, the
impaired.
last time I that I checked, or that I knew of, there's over 55,000
Wow.
people that are visually impaired in Ontario, or in Toronto, that I heard of. Uh,
Wow.
but to go Ontario wide, you can just figure that it's a lot more than that. And a lot of uh, the assistants these days are on youth that are visually impaired and stuff now, um, that that they're working with.
Mhm. Yeah, is this the number that you're telling me? Is that across Canada or across
I
Ontario?
think it's just in Ontario.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Um, oh, that's the number is huge.
Yeah.
Let's come back to Regent Park. What is
Okay.
ongoing mobility barrier in Regent Park?
Um,
Projects you are involved with in Regent Park, other than are you involved on locally?
um,
Are you local involved on the city level? To
right now, I'm with Regent. I try to do as much as I can to. I've been doing a lot with the city, with the street corners. I've done some with the park to make sure that it's accessible, um, and to that's the most that I've done now.
Yeah,
But I went to George Brown College a few years ago to get my grade 12, and that's when I started to look at accessibility, with transit, with buildings, with TCHC, with any building now, because I
yeah,
think that uh, what I'm learning more about is that there are stores and other places that are still not um, accessible to get into. I am right now learning more about the AODA policy. That is the accessible policy that's supposed to be in effect by 2025.
yep.
And right now, I'm trying to learn more about it, but also as I'm going, I'm learning how to work with people in this community. I think that one of the things that I've been doing with the redevelopment plan as well, in region right now, is every committee that I sit on, I'm making sure that the minutes are put in large print for me, that I can read and participate in the committee work.
Thank you, Lloyd. I don't think the city or the community are ready for 2025.
I
The
don't think
way,
so either.
yeah, yeah, the way everything is heading. I'm not sure what is the outcome will be after if we reach 2025, and if they are not reach the target, I'm not sure what is the outcome will be. But we have a long way to go in terms of educating the community, educating the city, the builders. I think we have a long way to go. Tell me about your experience and participation of recreation activities in childhood as your perspective or adult perspective.
Wow. I've been involved with a lot of sports most of my life. I used to be a 5-pin curler or 5-pin bowler years ago. We had a league with a visually impaired league of bowlers, and I also volunteered at a bowling alley as well. That I learned how to fix and learn how to repair the bowling pins, oil the lanes, look after the cash and everything behind the counter. And I had an average over 200 in that league. Then I did some 10-pin and I did compete in tournaments across Ontario one year, and I finished 32 out of 50 bowlers. I've also, like I said before, I am now, I played soccer. I've done a lot of competitive stuff that I've done, and I've got medals. I've got different types of trophies, plaques.
Can you show us? Lloyd? Can you show us your plaque?
Oh, they're in a container at the moment.
Okay.
But I have a plaque from, I used to work for the Toronto Star. I have a bowling one. And I have one given to me by the Regent Park area for the baseball, for the youth baseball that I was a part of.
Yeah.
And I have, and I still continue with curling now up to the day where I went before the COVID-19. I went to Ottawa to compete in the Ontario, the Canadian Championships in Ottawa, where I did well. I played well against the teams. And before that, I competed in a curling event out in Regent area, out around Peterborough and Oshawa.
Wow.
And I came back with a gold medal. I was unbeaten. And I look forward to that every year of curling, meeting friends and to have fun for a couple hours a night.
So that's a lot of accomplishment, Lloyd. You must be proud. And I remember one of the days that you said you're going to be going Ottawa, and having that outlet, it's a huge curling outlets, and being a part of that clubs as well.
The other thing I just forgot to mention that I think it's important as well. When my son was going to one of the schools, I was a part of the parent council.
Oh, wow.
And they give me an honorarium certificate of graduation from that school with a big plaque.
Oh, wow.
And a t-shirt and that from the school for being the chair of the parent council there at the school.
I think we need to write this, all of them. I think we will write all of this on newsletter and have bring all of them. I love to share those plaques and put it on the newsletter.
Sure.
I wish I know all of those plaques. We should have brought it tonight to show everyone.
I mean, they're not far away. I mean, they're in a container, that's all.
Okay. maybe we could do, we could write down a newsletter and share it with the community members and share those
Sure.
pictures as well. Thank you. I remember in one of the workshop you mentioned you were diagnosed with diabetes also. Maybe share how does this affect your vision, your daily routine?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was diagnosed 6 years ago with diabetes. Um, but my understanding, and it has not affected my eyesight. It is something, and I'm really happy that it isn't. I think that this is where I think that I've learned a lot as well. That doctors are trying to put my diabetes with my vision, and I've been told a number of times by my eye doctor that that has nothing to do with my vision. So it has nothing at all. So I'm grateful for that. That the diabetes has nothing to do with my eyesight.
Okay, that's the good news.
Yeah.
What is your daily routine then? If
My daily routine. Wow, it depends. And in my earlier days, I'd be up and going for a jog for an hour or two. I used to. Um, I've had a number of knee surgeries done. I've been in. I have a lower back problem because I was out go karting one day, uh, and now I can't really do that. My routine basically is to get up, unless I have meetings to go to. Um, I go for a ride in the scooter that I have now to get the fresh air. Um, and the one thing I didn't mention is I do still work at Daniel Spectrum,
okay,
except for COVID-19. That's I haven't been working for almost a year now at Daniels. Um, it's that was that. That's what I think I should tell you about is because um, this is a little emotional because I didn't think I'd get hired. Um, when you gotta hide that you have a disability of some kind, a lot of people they don't hire you because you do have it.
yeah,
I when I went for the interview, I had two interviews plus a third one, and and it was hard because I didn't know what to expect. Um, and when I asked the people at the end, when they asked if I had a question about why you hired me, and they said, "Oh, we hired you because we saw what you did in the community."
I was about to say that. Yeah, yeah,
And, you know, that made it all for me.
yeah,
And just to know that you get hired because somebody was paying attention or
yeah,
keeping an eye on you, and you don't know
yeah,
who's watching you in the community to give you a job.
yeah, yeah,
And I've been there for 5 years, and I never missed a day of work.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that to me is really important because uh, they they count on me, and I count on them, and I'm hoping that I can get back to it when COVID-19 is over with, or we get
thank
chance
you
to
for
do it anyway.
thank you for sharing, Lloyd. The first time I met you also, it was Sunday in the Park on when you were helping setting up. That's the first time I saw you as well, probably that's where they saw you,
Yeah.
your commitment toward the community, your commitment towards the hard work that you put on. Yeah, always there is someone that despite discrimination, despite people are looking down, but there is
Yeah.
someone out there watching what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your hard work on, that's the first time I met you as
And I
well
also did.
on Sundays at the
Yeah.
park. It was my first Sunday at the park as well for me, and yeah, yeah.
I also did the
Wow.
animator. I also did the animator program here at TCHC as well.
Yes, yes. Wow. Despite all of this, and you shined, and
But I think one of the things
all
that
of
if it's
those,
okay, I like to say,
and you're doing amazing work. Yeah,
um,
yeah. Go for it, please.
I'd just like to say this because I think that what it is for me is to work with people to understand what it's like to work with somebody with a visually impaired problem and know that they can do the work, but also to teach them and learn that they can do the work if you give them an opportunity. And that's with anybody with any type of disability and accessible. You got to make it accessible for anyone like myself or and whatever. But I think it's given us a chance and given us an opportunity to show and to be and to get help and guidance and to be taught. If we don't know it, you got to teach us. But we bring another skill is that we listen. With without my eyesight that as bad as it is, my hearing clicks in for that. Um, and I think that it's teaching people that are willing to listen and willing to take an chance with myself or others to see what we can do. And I've worked with the Election Canada a number of times with the accessibility stuff and to make it easier for people like myself and that to be able to vote and things like that. There's a lot that I've been involved with that people don't know about because it's hard sometimes because you're doing so much and you don't have time for yourself and you wonder where you're going to get the time. But that's important to me is to be able to teach others how, like myself, that other people like myself can do work if you give us that opportunity to do it. Um, you're muted there, Soraya. Um, I also, like to just say,
I
I'm.
was muted.
You were muted. I'm
So
talking
I
and I
have
can
to
see
call,
you're muted.
yeah, I have to call
Uh,
Mark to be unmuted.
yeah. Go ahead. Next question.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's interesting also. You are the father of adult child as well. You have
yes,
adult growing up. What is that looks like to? Uh,
uh,
yeah, it's fascinating to know that that you went through for you a lot of hardship.
yeah.
At the same time, God blessed you to have a child and to be on that your son is life.
Yes.
And what does that looks like? What was that? How was that?
It was, you know, it was difficult because I was raising him on my own, going to school or going to work, and taking him to daycare and coming back and getting him. Um, it's something that I learned and took. I even went to a class and learned how to raise somebody as a with my vision, I was lucky that I survived it. And but I wouldn't change it for anything because I learned a lot. But also now that I see that he's grown up and he's on his own. I'm grateful that he's alive and still, uh, he's doing what he wants to do. And I'm doing what I want to do. And it was a challenge, um, is what I found it. But with some help and some patience and some great understanding of what it was like and what it is now, I'm glad I did it. And I wouldn't have changed anything.
I'm so glad you did it as well. I'm so glad. Did you have support system?
Not really. I really couldn't do much on my own. I had to
What did the
spend most
support
of the time with him.
Yeah. What did the support system to mean to you? Like,
Well, the support system would have meant a lot to me back then, um, because I think that it would have given me another opportunity to kind of try to finish my education, where I had to stop my education for a while,
yeah.
um, and to uh, and to look after him. And I didn't mind that, but I think that with now there's a lot more of help. I think to help somebody, to raise somebody, to guide them and give them the right information. Um, and at that time, I just did it by the seat of my pants and knew what was right and what's wrong. Um, and uh, and I'm grateful that for that experience.
Wow. Someone put on the chat, "Your hero." I really believe on that, on your hero. Despite you went through all of the challenge, hardship, you were managed to raise amazing human being, and 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 without support system as well. What do you think the people who are going through right now? Do you think what kind of support system needed? Like, if ideally, if they could provide.
Well, I think one of the things that I find, you know, I think, to be honest and straightforward with this, is when you live in I'm living in TCHE, and I think I have a lot of problems whenever it comes to the renewal of my lease and stuff like that, um, because it's in small print, and it's sometimes it's hard to read, and you have nobody to help you. I remember when I first moved into housing, the people over in the office used to help me a lot and help me fill it out and help me and tell me what I needed and stuff like that. Um, and now because of the COVID-19, it's hard to get help to be able to do that. The I think that with myself, um, it worries me because I get nervous because I'm not going to be on time, or when the date that it's supposed to be in, that you panic, and your rent is going to go sky high and you're not going to be able to afford it. Uh, I think about being having to leave my apartment and go somewhere else. That stuff always bothers me because there's nothing in place to help people with visually that are alone, that live alone with a visually impaired problem, and things like that. Um, and there's no system,
Wow.
and I'm wondering how can I help to make a system to make it easier on us
Yeah.
to get that done,
I
and not to feel panic and not to feel that type of stress all the time.
Yeah, I think you're a champion for everyone who are going through the anxiety because of not getting support or not getting help what you need. I hope, I think someone from TCAC here on the rooms, or we could send this tips after how they need to accommodate also, and be mindful of how many Lloyd that exist in the community that who are going through the same like you, that not knowing how to navigate, and the anxiety build up when you don't know how to go about, yeah, COVID makes it so hard, especially people who are already going a lot of barrier.
Yeah.
It makes it so hard to navigate the system and navigate virtually, and doing all of that to express yourself, and your need to be met.
And
I really thank you for taking time and to share what being vulnerable as well, and to share what you are going through as well. And I'm
also,
really grateful
yeah, I
to have
appreciate
a chat with you, Lloyd,
that. Thank
and to be taking your time and to be vulnerable, sharing what really hard for you to talk about. And I really appreciate that.
you. You're welcome.
And I think we need to have that. All of TCAC people, I think they need to be trained how to manage and make it accessible, make it less anxiety, people who are going a lot of difficulties as well, and
Yeah.
filling the form, and having that big print, and all of the workshops, all of the document that you need to know, and in order to read that the way you could be seeing what you want to see.
Yeah.
I think we have long way to go. I think this is the time, I think all the staff members, either TCAC or the community workers, they need to understand the needs that people who are visually impaired, what they are going through, instead of assuming that everybody is equal. Not everybody is equal. Our vision is not all over the same, but especially for you, going through with your childhood, not meeting your needs as the adults, the same, it builds up the anxiety, and it triggers the trauma as well, what you have at childhood, what
Yeah.
it
Also, I mean, it's more, when people are, they have a spouse or family, they help them. Those that are visually impaired or totally blind, they have somebody that are with them. But when you're by yourself, and I do have, I say I have some friends, but when you're here by yourself and you're trying to go through this stuff, it's more difficult when you're trying to do it, but then you get nervous, and if you can't find it or you can't get it, what the next step, right? And that kind of and if that happens to me, then my blood sugar goes high. Um, so to me, is I deal with a lot of things I don't talk about, um, uh, because I don't know what people are going to react and how they're going to react to me. It's like, so what? You get comments like that. Doesn't have nothing to do with me. Like, um, so it's something that we all got to learn, and to work, and we you get to know. I think this is one of the things I think that's important for anybody, and it's not just for people that are visually impaired, but I think it's for everyone in the community, is to get to know who's in your community, that if they need help, if they just need somebody to talk to, or just go for a walk, just to take that time. It doesn't, a few minutes, or just to see how they're doing. I think that's where I think where I sit here alone a lot, and because of COVID-19, you wonder what you can do. You know, um, I'm lucky that I can just jump in my scooter and take off and go for a ride and just hope to God I don't get pulled over by the cops or something saying where are you going. So um, but it's knowing that you have friends that like Ines and I, we chat all the time, and it's great to meet somebody like Ines that um, accept me for me, not because I'm visually impaired. And I think that's one of the things that's missing.
Yeah.
Is take a person for who they are as a human being.
Yeah.
And if they have a disability of some kind, find out what it is, and how you can help to make it a little easier on them.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think there's enough of that around. And for me, like doing this, I don't know what the reaction is going to be tomorrow. You know, um, I'm taking a chance doing this. I don't know how other people are going to react. I don't know what's going to happen. It's like me spilling my guts basically, and I am. And I've got to trust that people are going to learn something from my story and from me, that I've been dealing with this vision problem all of my life.
Yeah.
I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to help people learn and to teach. And this is why I think the accessibility in region and getting the sidewalks and getting the park and getting where they over by the pizza oven and stuff like that, that it's easy for people to get to and to enjoy, um, and it's accessible for people to get around. Um, and I still got some work to do, but I think some of the other buildings where the cars come in and things like that can still be, they're not really accessible for people in walkers and things like that, for the wheelchair and buses, or for um, people that drop them off in cars, relatives that are got walkers and that to have that slant there that would be easy for them.
Yeah.
There's some more work to do, and I'm just happy that I have an opportunity to participate and to help
Yeah.
and to learn more myself, but also hopefully others will learn the same and chip in and help me to promote that.
Thank you for that, Lloyd. We have also on the group, we have school teachers as well, who are really so important to hear your voice. And when it comes to helping the children who are in the school system, and I really grateful that to have a chance to chat with you, Lloyd, and know you really well. And I'm also always, Ines is who are advocating you need to be included, all of the stuff that we do in the community, and she has your back always, advocating that sometimes it's very hard for people,
Mhm.
and I've been seeing in the community the way people, when they proceed, and the way they are talking, they are not mindful of what is inclusive means as well. And we
And
just talk about inclusive
yeah.
capacity building, all of that, but what really means inclusive in the community, and accessibility as well, what does that means?
Yeah.
We have to, it's 2021, and we need to really include everyone despite the disability.
I think one of the things that also that's that I've gone through and have gone through with you and other people is when people are talking to me, they think I'm not looking at them. because my eyes are going this way and that way. And they'll turn around and say, "You're not looking at me, are you?" I go, "Yes, I am." See, um, and I look at them and I go, "What do you mean I'm not looking at? I can see you. I'm straight in front of you,
Mm,
right?" "Oh no, you're not. You're looking over that way." I
mm,
go, "Yeah, I can see there, but I'm seeing you too,
mm,
right?" And
yeah,
and they don't get it.
yeah,
And I think that, I've been called everything from four eyes to six eyes to cross-eyed to everything that you can be called.
yeah,
And I try. See, one of the things I think I really enjoy is to let people know that people like myself that are in the community are willing to talk to people and do public speaking, and to let them know about their life and how you can help them to be a better person, because you want everyone to do good and to grow up to be a great person, and to we all have dreams,
yeah,
and if you take the time and your dream can come true.
definitely.
In my dream, I'm still working on. But I'm grateful that I'm here, that I can talk, that I can inspire other people in what I do. As you know, I've also took some of your workshops, and I did the CPR
Yeah,
and others. And
you went field trip with us also to
yeah,
Niagara
so,
Falls last year.
for me to do that, it was great because it was something that I learned,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. You went to last year also to Niagara Falls with us.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah, that you went hiking with us. That
Yeah.
was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
You were a part of it as well,
Yeah.
despite the rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite some of people were lost on the way.
Uh,
So yeah, thank you. And another question that I have: what does independent means for you?
Independence.
Yeah.
You know, for me, this is what it means for me. Everybody has a different interpretation of what independence is.
Mhm.
Mine is to be able to do things on my own. Okay. But to learn how to do it first, if I can't do it, it's nice to have somebody that's willing to teach me.
Mm,
Um, Independent, it's going out, doing my shopping, going grocery shopping or going to the mall, uh, being able to sit in the park, enjoy, listen to music or whatever, going to Timmy's and getting a tea and that. And to go out and spend time with friends is independence for me. Going to work, doing something that I love to do. And I think that one of the things I really do enjoy is talking to people, learning about different things that if I don't. One of the things I've been really doing lately, and has been for the last couple of years, is learning about. I've been watching a show called Oak Island, and it's just off of no, it's in Nova Scotia, and watching what's going on there. I like the History Channel and learning about things. Um, Even if I can't see it well, I listen to what's happening. So doing stuff, and that's independence, doing things on my own, but also if I can't do it, having somebody that has patience and willing to teach. And I enjoy, to be honest, is enjoy talking to people and teaching them and answering questions and trying to um, show them that they have a dream to keep it up, and they can be just as good as they want to be, and they can graduate from school and they can enjoy sports and enjoy it and have fun with it. Um, and I think that's what life is all about.
Yeah, yeah.
Even that with my vision, I've always thought, why me? Uh, I took time that I was really depressed because of my vision, because I even got beat up uh, by two brothers years ago for no reason. You know, things like that, just because you have a vision problem. Um, but yet I kept going forward. I didn't let it get me down. I wanted an education. You know, I never gone to university because I know I would love to, but I went to George Brown and I took a course there and A+ through the whole course. Graduated 2 years ahead of time. Got my diploma. So to me, that's what success is all about. Not giving up, just to keep going.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. We are here for you. Anything that you need support, always you need to count on us, okay?
Okay.
You went through a lot and you told me what, a year ago or that you had an episode of depression.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to share that?
I mean, I did because you know, there are times when um, I do get down. Um, I I spent a when you I used to volunteer over at the CRC years ago when I did bingo for them, and when that and my work took priority to that. Um, there were times where I got down in depression, and I didn't want to get into that. I had to find a way to get out of it. Um, and I think what I did with that was just to play my music, and I had the opportunity to continue to curl and stuff like that. So my curling really played a big role when I got to curl twice a week now instead of once, and get an opportunity uh, to get out of Toronto for the weekend to curl somewhere. And that really helped me to get out of my a bit of my depression that I had, because I wasn't by myself and I didn't have anything that I can participate in. And I like to keep busy. I like to learn. I like to be able to help someone or some to continue the work that I enjoy doing.
Thank you so much. And it's hard. I know it's hard for you to talk about, but as I believe on also when you share, someone else could hear your stories, then inspired by your stories, they could see the light as well. I really appreciate your sharing. It's I know it's hard for you to share, and we will when we talk about it, that's when overcome all of the challenge that we are going through as a human being.
Yeah.
And we're here for you. Any support that you need, um, please don't feel down, Lloyd. This event it's been taped, so people will learn and hear your stories, and they feel they are not alone on the struggle that they are going through as well. If they are going through, if they have a child that who are visually impaired, that at least they will have empathy, and they won't go through what the challenge that you're going through. Hopefully, in terms of support systems, in terms of having understanding teacher that we wish to have, or some kind of accessibility. And when we go to the door, is the door accessible to get into the buildings?
Yeah.
is the printing, the font size, it's a big enough for you to see it without you asking them.
Yeah.
At least that your need will be met. So not only for you, everybody will be happy when you're happy.
You know,
Yeah.
one of the things is I do it for me as a visually impaired person, but you know, I don't just do it for me. I do it for everybody.
Yeah.
It's for the people, the elderly people, uh, and for people that from people that I know and that I've known around the community. They're happy when I speak about making a larger print because it's easier for them. You know, one of the things I noticed that, and this is still going on, but I don't see them doing it at all. All of the flyers and stuff that TCHC brings and puts up on the walls, I really don't know how they expect somebody with with visually impaired could read those. They're so small that if I try to read it, my eyes get sore.
Yeah.
But and that's just one of the things,
Yeah.
because I think it's important that this is what a community does, is work with each other to make it easier to keep our eyesight if we can,
Yeah.
and to be able to work and do something that is really I enjoy doing.
Yeah. It's the community means it's all of us. It's
Yeah,
not certain people.
it's for all of us, not
Yeah,
just for
it's a
me.
community means all of us. It's not
Yeah.
certain people or certain people who lives in certain buildings.
Yeah,
It's the community means all of us. And I'm learning so much. I'm gonna be mindful of when I print flyers also. Exactly. Yeah. It's simple as that. It does make a difference. For you, it will make a difference for everybody who
yeah,
really, as we age, our sight is not going to be the same as well.
yeah,
So I think I'm gonna be mindful of when I post the flyers as well, and to be mindful of to include everyone when we do stuff, and also I'm looking forward 2025 what, if they met their
yeah.
target as well. So
So
anything
much.
else do you want to share, Lloyd?
I mean, you know, all I all I try to do is I'm just being me. I'm not trying to be somebody different.
Yeah.
Where people come up to me sometimes and ask me, why can't you be there? Why can't you be this person? I says, you know, if I can't be myself, I don't want to be nobody else.
Yeah.
The only way I can learn and to be able to work with people is to be myself. If you want to be somebody else and pretend to be somebody else, that's fine. But if you don't like the way I am or me being me, then you don't have to be around me. I want to be around people that want to be around me for me and that want to learn and want to be friends and want to work and do things and make things different. Then that's who I am. I'm here. I moved here, and ever since I've moved here, I've done volunteer work ever since I've been here. So I've basically been doing it since after my age, and I enjoy it because it's the people that you meet that you can enjoy listening to and learning about, and being able to move forward. And you can learn from each other if you take the time to. I think a lot of the times people don't really think about what they say before they say it.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that too.
Yeah.
But as somebody that's got a eye problem, my hearing is a lot better than my eyes. I'm lucky. Uh, and I'm grateful for it. And I just want to just to say to people, not just with vision problems, but any type of disability, is that take it one day at a time. If you need the help, try to get it. If you know somebody that's got contacts or that are willing to help you, then do that. Ask for that help. Don't try to do it on your own because I just find that these days, there's a lot out there for us. It's just, we got to reach out. You can't have them come to me and ask me if I need the help. If I need the help, I got to reach out and say, I need the help. But when I do that, there's my vulnerability because I don't know what the reaction's going to be. But am I willing to take that chance to get the help that I need so I can move forward and to be successful? It's a thing you got to talk and see about yourself. You got to look within, and you got to have the strength, and you got to believe in yourself to make it happen. And when it does, then the smile comes on your face. And then the person that's with you at the time would see that smile. That makes her day or his day. Just the little things can, saying hi to somebody,
Yeah.
you can make their day. That's what it's all about.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. Thank you. We will open it up for question and answer. Mary will open the chat, and there is a lot of question, I think, on the chat. Mary will take a lead in asking those questionnaires. Sonny, thank you, Lloyd. You're a champion. I really appreciate your sharing. We are here. We have your back if anything that you need. It in terms of if you need to advocate, we have your back. If you need support systems, that we have your back.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. There's been a lot of chatter on the chat as well as you were speaking, and there's some questions for you. So I'll just let everybody know, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat, and then we'll let you know when it's your turn to speak.
Oh, thank you. First, I'd like to say congratulations, Lloyd. That was wonderful. Absolutely well spoken and wonderful and very moving. And my question for you is, could you please tell us what you think about our big park and what changes you feel need to be made to make it more accessible?
Jesus, it's a lot different from the big park I know, when we had the baseball diamond on it. Yeah. I really think that, I think the middle part there with all them little hills and stuff, you know, it would be nice if they had more picnic tables and stuff and a little more flatter, that that people, they got the one little ramp that's over there. One of the things that I noticed is they used to have a yellow line along the top of the stairs. And I fought for that because I almost went over the stairs the first time they opened up that park. They need to be able to have a ramp that's a lot bigger and wider than the one they got there for, first of all. Some of the side of it there where it goes down in the middle, it's too deep, I think. I mean, if somebody like myself wanted to go down in that, down there, we wouldn't be able to. And I think that they have enough exits over there, but I think they should have something like lights or something there at nighttime, at the end of each little walkway or something, so that it's brighter. That would be a little more accessible. And I think that one of the things I noticed in the wintertime, that you can't really go through there with a scooter because you don't shovel or have anybody removing the snow in the wintertime there. I think that would be a little easier for people to be able to come and sit and in the wintertime as well. But the middle part, I think it could be a little less steep.
Yeah. Thank you. And I guess just a follow up on that, I imagine you've brought this issue forward many times.
As many as, not as many as I had to bring it to the committees to get large print.
Okay.
But yes, I brought it up a lot of time, and you know, I understand how slow it gets in the city, but you got to have patience. But also, when you have patience, you can really think about what you want to say, and you got to have people to work with that agree with you, and go as a group and not an individual.
Mm,
Get anything done.
good tip.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Hello?
Hi, there we go.
Oh, I was saying, somebody.
I know. I know.
Yeah, Mary, don't mute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Thank you. Oh, the next question is from the chat. So,
Okay.
wondering if you know the answer to this. Do you know the percentage of TCHC residents that have accessibility needs?
That's one thing I've been trying to get for a long time. I brought it up a number of times. And they say that's confidential. So unless they know, because one of the things I worry about, if something should happen, like a fire or things like that, how are they going to get people like myself and that out of the building?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the example is I was at the welfare office or the ODP office on Young Street one day, and the alarms went off, and I had to wait there. Nobody came to get me, and I'm wondering what's happening. And I'm in a scooter, and I can't really walk down the stairs. You know, that's what I worry about. Unfortunately, I don't know, and I wish, you know, if we can, as long as they know and where they're at and how many, it would be nice to know that if we can even, you know, get a group of us together and sit and talk and kind of meet with them and talk about what would be useful for us in case of that type of stuff happening. And we do, and the other thing is we should know, hopefully, we'll know where the exits are. One of the other things I'll say is I have tried to work, I've gone around some of the new buildings before they were open, to look at accessibility things like for the elevators, for people that are visually impaired with Braille, or so that we would be able to get to from floor to floor, and the colors to make it brighter, so we know where we're going and how to get out, and things like that. So you know.
Actually, that leads into another question. Is other than you mentioned before the font size
Yes.
on documents and things, I was wondering, other than font size, if we're making documents, posters, or even posting on social media for our friends or the community, are there other things we can do to make them more accessible, like colors or anything like that?
Yeah, it depends, you know, like, I finally got, I finally got someone, when they send emails to me to do it in large print. Um, it depends on what color paper you put it on. Black and white seems pretty good for people in large print. Um, it could be yellow and black as long as it's in large print. If it's a bright color, um, and in large print, you should be able to read it pretty well. Um, I think posters and that it should be a little in larger print. Um, but that takes time, and it's trying to work with people and how big you can make it, because depends on what size poster you want to make, and where you're going to put the poster as well. Um, I think that that's where you need to work with somebody. I guess I would say with people that would need that poster in large print is to work with them so that they can help design it and make it into the print size.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And the next question is, what city and government supports are available to help make meetings more accessible?
Wow. You know, that I don't know the answer to it. I can only tell you that the ODSP office, the welfare office, um, I think we need, you know, even with TCHC, um, there's more that they can do. It's just working with the people to make it happen. Um, it costs money. Like anything that I would need to buy, I have to pay more money for. If I need to get, let's say, a laptop or a printer or a computer, things like that, to what I need so I can continue to work and be able to learn how to do all of this, it would cost me more money to get to do it than it would a regular person, because they don't need large print.
Mm-hmm.
And it's having accessible access to where you can go and get it. But the governments, they can do more, I think, and it's just sitting down with them and to discuss the needs of. We're all individuals and we're different. We need different types. It's just sitting down with them and talking to them, and see what they can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a lot more that needs to be done.
Yeah.
That we'll see when that 2025 thing comes.
Yeah.
So as far as I can see, I don't see any further questions in the chat.
I think there is one. It says, what is the city and the government support available to help make meetings
that
more
was, yeah.
accessible? Yeah.
Oh, what
Yes.
was that? Sorry.
That was the one. Yeah, we just
Yeah, we just talked about
that
that.
one. Yeah.
I think that, you know, like, I can only say that the city of Toronto with elections, having a committee with people with disabilities sitting on there to reach out into their own communities for the elections were really good in the way that the city of Toronto was doing that. What we did is outreach to people that lived in homes, old folks' homes, in the hospitals, in their bed that can't get out, to get them to vote. We, you know, with in that way, we kind of talked about what needed to be done, and we did it. I think you need to get people like that, and I know there are committees done in the city at City Hall that have. There is some groups down there with disabilities that are the transit one, and there's the you know, a few, but you got to, there are terms, and you got to wait 2 to 3 years before a seat opens, and then you got to fill out a large bunch of paperwork that that'll take you a few hours. I think it's just getting the people together and sitting and talking and trying to get reasonable to see what we can do and what we have done and how can we improve on it. You know, it's just getting the time, and there's so much going on that we don't really have the time to do much anymore except do what we're doing, and we're all getting burned out. But what I can say is that when you get people like myself that really want to be be a different making difference in your community, and it's willing to put work in and willing to work with others to make that difference and to learn. I think what happens is you see uh, how worth it is, and how grateful it is that wow, I didn't know you could do that. Wow, you know, like, you mean you can actually do it? Yeah, if you give us an opportunity. But if you don't give us the opportunity to do something, how would you know? If you don't get to know us, you know, you're not going to know. The only way that we get, like, I'll just talk about myself because I've gone through a lot, and I've been turned down a lot. And I've only really had maybe, I'll say, 2 good things that I enjoy doing. And that was being in the animator and working for Daniel Spectrum as setting up special events where I felt good. I was doing something. I go to work, come home. I met people. We chat. They remember me. They got to know who I was. And if they came back and rented the place out, they asked for me.
Okay, Lloyd?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I didn't have a chance, I didn't take a time reflect on the gold medal. It is
Right.
a big deal.
I do have it if you'd like to see it.
Yes, it's a big deal. I want everybody to see it.
I'll show you the real one, okay?
I want to reflect on and going to the motion behind this achievement
Okay.
before I steal it.
Hang on a sec. I'll bring the real thing out.
Okay.
I'll put it on if you want to show me with it.
Yeah. I love your hat also, Lloyd.
Yeah, well, my hat is something that I got to keep the air out of my face so you people can see it. That's the only reason why I put it on. Okay.
Okay. Oh my.
This is the real thing.
Describe how you feel about it when you got it. If I could borrow one day as well, walk around in the community, that would be great as well.
Yeah. Listen, I wore it to work and they didn't want me to take it off. Yeah, I can explain this. This was a tournament that was in Peel Region a couple of years ago. And it was my first opportunity to be a skip of the curling team. There were 4 teams. I had to play my team from Toronto. That was the national, they were actually provincial champions. Then I had to play a team from Ottawa and from Hamilton. And I didn't know how I would do because I've never really competed in a tournament that that was really interesting and fun with 4 teams. One of the things that happened was I beat I beat my provincial champion team in the
Can
first
you keep
game.
it a little bit high, Lloyd? We
Okay.
could see it. Can
Oh,
we
sorry.
see it more? Yep, yep.
I beat the provincial
Wait.
champion team from Toronto. Then I played the other team and we beat them. And what makes this one so special is I had to beat Ottawa twice in one day. They
Nice.
were a great team, a good team. I when I played and when I curled, I enjoyed the game because I like to teach it as well. And I really didn't realize when I finished the second game playing Ottawa in the afternoon what would happen. And when we won it, I was in tears.
Mm.
Even that I've won a couple of other gold medals, smaller ones than this. This was because I went unbeaten. I didn't lose a game. And try to explain the feeling, it's really, you had to be there. And I'll be honest, I didn't think I could do it, but you got to believe in yourself
Yes.
and you got to believe in your team. And I think when you think, with this was a team effort. It's like working in Regent Park with the committees and things like that. We're a team. And when you think about it, as a team, you work together to make it better for all of us. And to me, that's what it means. Team effort. It's a team that makes things happen. We're all different, but yet we have disagreements, but yet we're still a team. And to get to the finish line, we got to work as a team and work to make things the way that we want. I think that this meant to me that now I know I can curl and I know that I can be a leader, know that I can lead a team to victory. And when you can think positive, no matter what the situation is, that being positive, things do come your way. But you got to have people there to encourage you as well and to guide you. Because if we don't get guidance from our friends and our people we work with, you get down on yourself. But this is where people can help each other to pick each other up. No matter what the situation, what your disability or what situation may be, just turn and say, hi, how are you feeling? What can I do to help? What do you need? That type of little bit of spirit can go a long ways.
Thank you.
This is what it means to me.
So beautiful. Well said. And I did capture all the emotion that comes. That's beautiful, Lloyd. We are proud of you as Regent Parkers. You beat the ad, Lloyd. Beautiful.
I still got a ways to go, but you know what?
Despite all the challenge, this is beautiful. You could do more. You could touch the moon. It's possible. Okay.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. I think we could open it up and open your mic and you could ask question. I think, Ines, you want to go first?
Yeah, I just want to say a comment. Lloyd, while you were talking, I know you and I had many conversations about our personal lives, and I've cried on you. Um, you've always been there as a friend and listened to me, and me being your friend and do a lot of the walkings around the community and understanding more, even when sometimes the sidewalks, when you walk, when you're crossing the street and it doesn't have the little ramp, it's high. And I go, oh my God, Lloyd, you're going to flip over. Seeing in his vision, and Lloyd has heard me many times. He goes, don't worry. I go, I do worry, because if something happens to you, I will be calling 911. And then, it's all that emotion and stuff and his vision. So what I do is I called Fatima from Daniels Corporation, that we have built that relationship. They've been pretty good and they come right away and fix it. So for me, it's been like a lesson learned, like I said, and just being your friend, Lloyd, and you being my friend. I am so overwhelmed with your history, even though you and I do talk. I've learned a lot more, but I'm grateful that you are in my life as a friend. And I know a lot of people sees us all the time. We're always going here and there and doing things. And I had somebody come to me, are you guys boyfriend and girlfriend? I said, no, he's a very special friend.
Are you sure, Ines?
So Lloyd and I, we like I said, we have a long relationship through the old building of 295 Girard. We're in the corner of Girard and Parliament. There's going to be a condominium now, and him living in 325. Like, there's been a lot of histories. Lloyd has helped me with my tea parties. Lloyd has helped, Soraya and Lloyd, we've done a lot of the safety audits late at night, freezing cold, in order for Lloyd to see where is it needed for accessibility, the danger zones and all that stuff. And even in this new, with a new development, the streets, the sidewalk, all that stuff, the park, everything. So I'm grateful for you, Lloyd, that you have taught me so much, and there's more to do. And that's all I could say. I'm just grateful that you are my friend.
Thank you very much.
Ines. Thank you. Anybody else want to do you have any question that's wanna? Dini, she raised her hand. Dini, go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I worked with Lloyd back for those 22 years of Sunday in the Park. And I was always, fortunate to be in this leadership role. And I always identified Lloyd as the lead for our setup and tear down. And I did so because I felt he had amazing skills when it came to problem solving. He definitely worked well with everybody. People did take direction from him without ever feeling like he was bossy. And that work got done. So every year I relied very heavily on Lloyd. And boy, we gave him some tasks and they were not easy. It was hard work. So I just wanted to share that with people that, he's an amazing leader, very, very competent in his work.
Thank you, Dini.
Thanks.
That means a lot. That who's been here for a long time. So there is another comment that came from Alfred. I think Alfred know you, which is my executive director, knows you, I think long time ago.
Did he work at East End Literacy?
Yes.
Oh, geez, not him, is it?
Yes, it's him. So he wrote
wow.
in the chat. He said, you are shining and you are a power inspiring to others as well. So he put it on the chat and he thank you so much, Lloyd. You see, so you touch everybody's life. So
yeah.
hat off on you, Lloyd.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so Alfred is here for you. When I send the flyers to the staff members, he replies immediately, say, I will be there, he said. I didn't know you guys have connection back long time ago.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Wow, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You can also see a little 8 to 10-minute video on YouTube of me at the curling rink in a tournament. Just go to Lloyd Pike, Life of a Curler.